Hey everyone, my name's Ryan King, and welcome to this introduction video to this complete Blender beginner tutorial series. So this is an 11-part tutorial series, 12 parts if you count this video, and this tutorial is made for complete beginners or people who are very new to Blender. So if you've never used Blender before, or maybe you've just played around with it a little bit, but you want to get a very good overview and understanding of the basics of Blender, then this tutorial series is for you. So in part 1, we're going to be going over basic navigation, user preferences, and shortcut keys. In part 2, we're going to be going over the different windows, we're going to be going over workspaces, and we're going to be going over setting up a default startup file. In part 3, we're going to be doing basic modeling, and we're going to be modeling the house for the final scene. In part 4, we're going to be modeling the environment, so we're going to be modeling the hills in the background and the clouds, and the fence around the house. In part 5, we're going to be finishing the modeling, so we're going to be modeling the trees and the mailbox and the flag in the front yard. In part 6, we're going to go over lighting, so I'm going to show you how to do basic lighting. I'm going to introduce you to all the different type of lights and when you might want to use them. And I'm also going to show you how to add an HDRI to get even more realistic lighting. Then in part 7, we're going to be going over basic materials, so we're going to be just adding different colors and just basic materials over all the objects. Then in part 8, we're going to go over UV unwrapping the objects and texturing the objects. So we're going to be downloading some free textures from some awesome texture websites and UV unwrapping the objects and adding our textures into the materials. Then in part 9, we're going to be going over the basics of particle systems, and we're going to be modeling some grass and some rocks and using a particle system to put them over the ground. Then in part 10, we're going to be going over basic cloth simulations, and I'm going to show you how to make the flag flap in the wind. And then finally in part 11, we're going to be going over render settings, rendering the final image, and then I'm going to teach you how to do basic animation, and we're going to be animating out the entire scene, rendering that, and then video editing that together into the final animation that you can see right here. So all of the parts to this tutorial series are going to be free on my YouTube channel, and all of the textures and everything that you're going to need to make the tutorial is going to be free as well. So this tutorial series is going to be completely free on my YouTube channel, but I am trying to make Blender tutorials for a full-time living. So if you'd like to help support me, you can purchase this entire tutorial series. And when you purchase it, you're going to get all of the video files, including this one that you can watch offline. And you're also going to get all the textures and everything that you're going to need to follow along with the tutorial. And you're also going to get the finished project files, so the finished Blender file with the house scene. And also my patrons over on Patreon will be getting the finished project files. So they'll be getting the textures and the Blender files and the project files for the finished artwork. My goal for this tutorial series is that by the end of it, you will have a very good understanding of Blender, and you'll be able to make your own artwork and continue doing more advanced tutorials. So if you'd like to go ahead and watch the first part of the tutorial series, there'll be a link right up on the screen, right up there. You can just click on it when it's released. I'll be releasing the first part very soon after I publish this video on my channel. So thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoy this tutorial series, and I really hope it helps you. And with that said, I will see you in the first part of the tutorial.